Now, let's leave it with this article. This is The Guardian, and it's George Monbiot, the wonderful George Monbiot. We all love him to bits, particularly when he's attacking people in his local area on The Guardian, totally without justification. But anyway, I hope everybody appreciates the sarcasm in that. General elections are a travesty of democracy, says let's give the people a real voice. So let's have a look and see what he's saying here. An election is a device for maximizing conflict and minimizing democracy. Parties gain ground by sowing division and anger, often around trivial issues that play to their advantage. Communities are set against each other. See how the Tories appeal to their elderly base by treating young people as a problem to be solved currently through national service. He doesn't say anything about how all politicians are treating elderly people as a problem at the moment that need to be dealt with through euthanasia. But anyway, let's not worry about that. He goes on to say, in David Van Raybroek's excellent book, Against Elections, he favours sortition. And he defines sortition as choosing members of political bodies by lottery. This is how much of political life was run in ancient Athens and in Venice, Florence, and other European cities in the second millennium. Now, we'll just talk about Venice in a second, but remember that Florence was the home of the Florentine banking oligarchy, or the Lombard banking system. And of course, that migrated through the Netherlands into the city of London, which is why the streets in London are called Lombard Street, and banks tend to have the word Lombard in them around the place. So when we're looking at whether Florence or Venice should be held up as being the bastion of the best way to be governed, well, get an idea of what Venice was like from this book, The Bravo, by James Fenimore Cooper. If you haven't read it, read it, because what do we need to understand about Venice? First of all, it was an oligarchy. So the Doge was at the top, and it was absolutely an oligarchy. Political assassination was commonplace, and the favorite weapon was the stiletto. And, well, maybe there's an argument for bringing all this back. I don't know. Maybe that's what Monbiot's calling for. I'm not sure that that's terribly clear. But, Ben, you know, the issue of sortition, people still don't quite grasp why this is important.
Yes, well, I mean, they're going to completely transform. The plan is to completely transform the way that decisions are made in the country. And it's not just Monbiot saying it. This is Labour Party policy, more or less. You know, Sue Gray, who's effectively operating Keir Starmer, has been a big proponent of it. And the thing that jumps out at me is just this idea that we're going to select people by lottery. I don't want decision makers selected by lottery. I want the best people in the room making the decision, not necessarily even on my behalf, right? It's removing our voice, and it's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, but on the other hand, people would argue that what we've got at the moment is I mean, that's the argument he is making, that what we've got is a disaster. But what he's suggesting is we throw the baby out with the bathwater. Most people are forgetting that what the proposal for sortition allows for an even worse situation, and that's the point that we've got to discuss further. Maybe we'll do that in extra as well. But look, I just want to end today with a couple of sort of and finally slides here. First of all, this Mail article, which is quite staggering. New Bridget Jones film being shot on the site of school, falsely accused of running a satanic paedophile ring. So this is the school at the centre of the allegations of satanic abuse, child abuse in Hampstead. So this is what they say. But it's unclear, the Mail says, whether producers were aware of the school's past before setting fictional North London school, setting the fictional North London school on its grounds. Christchurch Primary was recently the subject of a Channel 4 documentary accused the Hampstead paedophile hoax, which shook up the quiet suburban neighbourhood in 2014. Not just Channel 4 pseudo-documentary, but also a big supposed expose by Tortoise Media as well. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in extra, but I'll leave you with this. Because if you remember, a few months ago, we mentioned the fact that the UK's early warning radar system, which of course points towards Russia, was being subverted by our own net zero policy, because of course we've been building wind farms offshore off the east coast of England. And that's the direction the radar points in, and these things scatter the radar waves. So unfortunately, the radar wasn't working terribly well. You'll be glad to know that the UK, this is Defence Eye, saying the UK pays to mitigate wind farm radar effects. You'll be glad to know that we have set aside £1 billion of Great British pounds in order to mitigate the effect of our own net zero policy on our early warning radar system, which is supposed to tell us when Putin is firing his nuclear missiles at us. I find it incredible that we are wasting this money in this way, but we can talk about that and extra perhaps as well. So we got to leave it there for today. So I'm going to say thank you very much to everybody that joined us. Thanks to Ben and Debbie. We'll see you in a few minutes if you're a UK Column member on Extra. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday as usual, 1 p.m. Bye-bye.